The term matrix comes from the Latin word for womb, an enclosure within which something originates or develops. Although they may have left their mother's womb, the majority of people are stuck in a matrix where every facet of their lives are dictated by government and experts, and every thought about the world outside of their enclosure is implanted by the mainstream news media and the construct of Western society.
Because what happens is you come into this world and with this knowledge suppressed, it's like someone once said, you imagine you come into the world and someone tells you that 2 and 2 equals 5. Your parents tell you that from the earliest age, 2 and 2 equals 5. You then go to kindergarten and nice teachers tell you that 2 and 2 equals 5. You then go to school and teachers at junior school, senior school, they tell you 2 and 2 equals 5. By now, all your mates who've been through the same system, they're telling you 2 and 2 equals 5, and if you say it equals 4, they laugh at you. You then go to university, and professors with letters after the name, moustaches, they say 2 and 2 equals 5, you know. Oh no, it equals 4. No, I've been doing this 50 years. I've met all the best brains in the world. It equals 5. That boy will not go far. And then you turn the telly on, and someone's going, good evening, 2 and 2 equals 5. Now the weather, right? There's a good chance that you'll go through the whole of your life believing 2 and 2 equals 5, but it still equals 4. And what this information about the nature of reality is doing, basically it's saying, do you remember 2 and 2, 4? Oh yes! And this is why this has such an impact on people. When they hear it, something goes, this is true. This is true, because they're remembering it. We are in a world in which the vast majority of the population is in an amnesic state. They are in a hypnotic trance because they have been implanted with false information about themselves and the world ever since they arrived.
Throughout the ages, there have always been 2 races of people: the rulers and the ruled, the government and the governed, the illuminated ones, and those kept in the dark, kept in the womb.
The real problem is, most of us are idiots. We just like to think we're not idiots because we use a bunch of shit that smart people have figured out. But how many of us understand any of that shit? Think about the technological level that this world operates on. How many of us really understand that? What if everybody out there died and we had to take over the world? How well you think we do? Yeah, terrific. We would do awesome. Yeah. Does anybody know how any of this shit works?
This slave system of enlightened rulers and ignorant slave classes has evolved since the very dawn of time.
There's a car. Get over. I lit that fucker up.
Although not the engineered killing machines of today, primitive man was ruled by fear and survivalist instincts. As the sun set each night, they went to bed not knowing if they'd make it to sunrise the next morning, fearing the beasts and predators and the darkness itself. Eventually, some men fell to temptation and took the forbidden knowledge from the serpent, and they used this knowledge to dominate the ignorant masses instead of freeing mankind from its fears and showing them the path to evolution and enlightenment. The illuminated ones who had studied the sun and the moon and the cycle of night and day used their knowledge to manipulate others. The fear, sometimes irrational, that the masses had of the nightfall gave the ruling race a grand tool for manipulation. They would promise to protect the ignorant so long as they conformed to a rigid structure of living. It was called civilized society. In modern Western society, the fear of climate change, terrorism, and the economy, whether real or invented, has done its job in uniting nations together under a system of ever tyrannical government that is moving towards a globalized world. The average person doesn't know the intricacies of climate science. They are simply warned of some mythical cataclysmic event that might present itself in the future. The average person doesn't know the ideologies of foreign countries or the web of foreign policies that cause terrorism. They are simply told that the boogeyman of Al-Qaeda will strike again. The average person doesn't know the complicated web of mathematics that goes into the economy. They are simply told that in order to survive, more debt and more tax needs to be created. As long as they listen to the enlightened ones and conform to their idea of society, they will be protected from what exists outside of the womb.